Hello Internet, welcome to the last edition of Eric's Corner for this weekend. I know you got excited, you thought it was going to be the last one, period. Trust me, I got a lot more coming. If you like my channel, smash the subscribe button and keep joining me. Today I'm going to talk about what I consider to be a very obvious election slide. You know, you pissed and moaned for 4 years about election interference from Russia, Russian collusion, right? The buzz phrase that has been imprinted in every media outlet across the world. But then all of a sudden, oh, I assure you this next election is the most secure election. Well, you're not going to convince me election hasn't been rigged when media and government assures me that it's not a rigged election. And you keep taking down videos that prove it. I mean, if Trump won by 25 million votes over registered voters, there was 81 million and 74 million, so 150-ish million votes, and there's only 125 million registered voters. You know, you reverse the roles. If Trump won by that kind of landslide, you'd still be burning the country down like you did the first time, remember? And then claim, well, this is Trump's America. Like, well, I mean, that's not his supporters that are pulling this bullshit. So you make absolutely no sense there. If Biden had rallies that filled football stadiums and Trump's didn't fill high school gyms, if there were 80,000 vote spikes in the middle of the night, which is mathematically impossible. The people that made the voting machines said they can't count votes that fast. And we've all seen the charts where they kind of flow like this, and then all of a sudden Biden goes from 40,000 behind to 40,000 ahead. They said that's just simply not possible. All of a sudden, all of Biden supporters are voting absentee because they're afraid of COVID and stuff and being COVID compliant. But you had no problem flooding the streets celebrating once he won. It doesn't really make any sense there. If Trump flipped 5 blue states that had been blue states for 5 to 7 decades, that'd be pretty suspicious because that's what Biden did. Trump had 90-mile-long convoys of people supporting him, and Biden had absolutely nothing. Biden said these messed up things like, somebody asked him about, well, if your daughter got pulled over by the cops, how would you feel if this happened? He said, well, she wouldn't have a problem because she's white. Yes, he said that. And you just, oh, well, I mean, you know what he meant. That wasn't a thing. And if you don't know whether to vote for me or Trump, then you're not black. You know, the black kids are just as smart as the white kids, or the Asians and the Mexicans or the Filipinos, the Africans. I mean, he just went on to name every ethnicity he could think of to try and backpedal what he said. I mean, Trump never said anything that something that you can't really say wasn't messed up. He said something vague like, well, we should disinfect our insides. Oh, he's saying to drink bleach. Jesus Christ. I mean, you know that's not what he said. He said, I think something might happen on January 6th. Okay, and there was a protest. 41,000 hours of footage, and we saw 3 minutes of it on a loop for 3 years until Tucker Carlson got the rest of the footage to make it look like this huge thing. Well, that's what you do. You protest the government. You take your problem to the government. You take it to the government buildings. And they even leave, and the property's totally clean. It's not trashed and destroyed in these environmentalist protests where they leave just a disaster behind and garbage everywhere. Like, wow, good job. I don't know what to tell you. And, oh, Trump's not mentally competent. You need to take him to the nearest psych ward. He's just so out there. And then Biden, who you say, oh, well, he has a stutter. He hasn't had a stutter for 50 years. He overcame it in his early 20s. I saw the documentary about it. He got picked on for it, etc. Okay, great. I'm glad you overcame something like that. But Biden's been on the losing side of every political everything for 5 decades, and he's totally confused how we arrived in this position. You're going to blame 4 years of Trump on our problems now? All the problems we've had, you said were going to happen under Trump. Oh, world war, it's just the end of the world. And I got a friend, oh, if Trump gets elected again, oh my God, would it be just fine like it was last time? And, well, what's going on under Biden right now is Trump's fault. Jesus fucking Christ. You are just not even in the ballpark of reality here. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm not on a pro-Trump thing here. I'm on an anti-government thing here. They have failed you every time, but yet you want to give them more power. And a friend's mom, I asked her, and she was a hippie back in the 70s, and I was like, you were totally anti-government. Why do you want to give them all the power and control? She's like, well, we were anti-Vietnam. Okay. And? So what changed? Why all of a sudden is the government your Lord and Savior when we can do this all ourselves? Government to some degree is a necessary evil. We have to have some kind of middle ground that government is supposed to provide an environment where we can thrive on our own, not to be there to take care of us. I think Ron Paul said that. Big fan of Ron and Rand Paul. 2,000 Mules, if they came out and said that it was voter fraud in favor of Trump, again, you'd be burning shit down. You looked at IP addresses and said, well, it's not accurate enough to determine where these mules supposedly were. Okay, I can get on board with that as an argument because, the January 6th protest, you said you used their IP addresses to see where they were, and they were, in fact, at the Capitol building. Okay, at a building, sure, versus at a mailbox. But, I mean, there's a trail going back and forth to a mailbox or within the vicinity of a mailbox. It's pretty incriminating. I just don't understand how the left always flip-flops here. I mean, I got more examples, oh, my body, my choice. Well, you should be forced to take the vaccine, though. Oh, take people's kids away if they won't force their kids to get it. No. Olivia and I lived our lives business as usual for 2 years. And then her and I finally got sick. And our 2 children, I guess Alaric would have been 2.5, and we had a newborn baby at the time, showed no symptoms. And the older 2 tested positive and barely got a runny nose, as her and I were absolutely dying. It was pretty rough, and I got the antibody infusion, and I felt better, and we figured it out. It's actually 2 years ago right now, actually, right before Halloween. So I couldn't put together my cool haunted house that I did the year prior, which I'm working on now. I look forward to showing you videos of that. It's a lot of fun. I do it for Trunk or Treat. So I just don't understand how, you riot and burn things down and insist an election was rigged and stolen. And Biden even said, never again will an election be stolen. Okay, so you admit it can be stolen. You can't guarantee it's a fact and then say, well, but the last one, that was all bullshit. I just don't know. It doesn't make any logical sense. And I'm not the only one who thinks this either. I see social media. I see what people are saying about it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the matter. Think if the role was reversed, like I just laid out for you, you'd have a very different opinion about it. In the next election, and I mean, they spent, 3 years have gone by, and they're indicting Trump and going after him under his business practices. Again, I'm not saying he's innocent there, but you know what? Everybody running a business is doing some sketchy shit because it's the only way you can grow your business. People will always find backdoors around government regulation. They will always find tax write-offs they shouldn't have. I don't know. I think every individual needs to start a business, get a business license, and do something. Make something, flip washers and dryers, fix somebody's car, start writing things off. Everybody start a business. get an LLC, limited liability corporation, start some kind of business, start writing things off. That's the only way you're going to be successful, because working for a wage, you're just simply not going to do it. I do things on the side. You know, I'll get an old car and something broken, fix it up, flip it, and make some money off of it, and I do it under the table. You want to come after me for it? Okay, that's fine. I'm admitting to you that I do these things, but that's the only way to get anywhere. I mean, I'm not becoming rich doing it, but I mean, I'm still contributing to society. I'm fixing cars, building houses, so on and so forth. I'm going to sit here mooching off of the system. It's just, I don't know. Everybody might as well do it. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, I did a video on her insider trading. She's not paying any taxes. Nobody in Congress is paying any taxes on anything. AOC, oh, well, you should pay 90% of what you make. Okay, well, where's your 90%? Well, they're so generous with other people's money. You know, everybody else's money is our money, but my money is my money. You know, I had a buddy that said, well, people need to pay more in taxes and pay their fair share. I said, okay, so when you're making millions, you're just going to give 90% of it away? He said, no, I'm smart. I'll keep my money. I'll use the system. I'm like Donald Trump does, like all these other billionaires do. So they're assholes for doing what you said you're going to do if you're in their position. It does, I mean, you know, it's hypocritical, and I don't know. Just, either way, I've gone on long enough. I guess I've pretty much beat this dead horse to death. So if you like my channel, stay tuned. If not, well, I don't know why you're still listening. So hope to see you again. Smash that subscribe button, and I hope to see you again. Have a good night.